I would now like to ask Filipe Araujo from the Vice President of Porto City Hall to come and speak. He's going to talk about smart cities, improving cities for startups through technology. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. First of all, let me start by saying that the previous persons that spoke, they talked about many things related to Fintech. I'm more going to talk about cities, but in reality, we are talking about the same things. Because when you are talking about social media, when you are talking about analytics, when you're talking about AI, when you're talking about blockchain, in reality, you are talking about many other subjects that are related with the cities and the development that we are facing. One thing that I heard is that there are opportunities in the last speech, there are opportunities everywhere. So I truly believe that although we see some of these things being highly developed in some areas of the globe, that there is opportunities for everyone and for many of the cities in the world. And that's how we would have a world for everyone. And this is the opportunity that I just heard in the last speech. And another remark before I start is the technology inclusion, which is also very, very important. If we don't manage to do that, then we will not have the fintech that we are talking here. So there is a lot to do on that. But let me start by saying that, first of all, before I'm going deep in the topic of today's discussion, maybe allow and frame my view and talk about a little bit of Porto and why we have decided to focus our strategy on improving our capacity as a city for helping entrepreneurs through technology and innovation. Well, I don't know if most of you know Porto, but we are a mid-sized city, almost 250,000 inhabitants in the center of a large metropolitan area of 1.8 million. And we are, in reality, and the north part of Porto are the important motor of Portuguese economy, as we are the major contributor to the exports and a place where innovative businesses are being created every day and more or less they are responding to the demands of a constantly changing economy in a global economy. Porto presents very interesting indicators for quality of life resulting of uncommon safety levels, its welcome characteristic and multicultural and entrepreneurial character. All of this is quite evident through the development of tourism in the last years, and so we have been receiving several awards. But Porto is also a very historical city. We have 2,000 years of history, and during this 2,000 years of history, we were able to find all over this time very innovative solutions to most of the demanding challenges. The capacity to address challenges in different and innovative ways is for sure one of the keys of success. We in Porto have seen it all over our history, and we want to continue to develop as a source of knowledge and solutions for cities, not only, of course, in our country, in our region, but also in a global scale. Porto, it's an innovative city, but above all, we know that also a very important figure. I know I am in a fintech panel, but it's important to notice that and be aware that we need the cities to have the quality of life, we need them to have the cultural capacity, and these are a very differentiated attribute as it is essential for urban life quality, also in projecting the cities in the world. And in that matter, Porto, we are a liberal and commercial city which bears culture in its genes. Portugal has seen a lot of new successful startups becoming scale-ups, and Porto has recently successful companies with a global market, such for example Veniam, which has just raised $26 million, or Farfetch, just signed a contract with Chanel, and as you know, we have a very important textile industry and in the region. And they just raised $720 million. And, but more important than that is that their leaders, the leaders of these startups, are the real models, and they are also investing and helping to grow new business. For example, more related with Fintech, BFSI, a Portuguese startup, which has already received more than $70 million in investment, and it's working with world's largest banks, payments providers, and retailers to manage risks associated with banking and shopping all over the world. And they just settled a new office also in Porto. Cities should work as an aggregator of innovation and entrepreneurship in a continuous emphasis on knowledge, training, and qualification, which is, above all, fundamental. Talking about cities without mentioning their infrastructure and technology is building a sandcastle. And in this field is precisely where I believe cities can also be a unique playground for banking, financial services, and insurance. Cities are nowadays eager for the development of open and resilient platforms where the data gathered by millions of sensors spread in the city fabric is used by an heterogeneous set of applications. From applications to help tourists finding the right spot for a relaxed dinner, to critical applications for managing the traffic or the traffic lights, infrastructure, and several others. So there are a lot of things that cities can work on, and this set of technologies are also helping in the fintech area. The complexity of these urban platforms is creating very demanding challenges in the fields such as high availability IoT platforms in security and data protections, some of the things that we mentioned already today. By developing co-creation and open innovation platforms where entrepreneurs, citizens, large corporates can work together to tackle some of these challenges, cities will not only contribute for the development of innovative solutions, but they will also play an important role in the economic development. And by doing like this, cities can be witnessing a remarkable shift in its business's profile. By fostering innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem, cities will be able to create innovative companies with high employability rates. In this context, European cities are attaching special importance on measures to strengthen local innovation ecosystems and network them, exploiting synergies, reducing fragmentation, and helping Europe to become true tech entrepreneurial hub. Moving forward and have success in this process is a high demanding task, and the risks of failure are also very high. Nevertheless, there are studies which suggest that there's a clear mutual interdependency between R&D, innovation, and business activities, and that such activities are likely to be co-located and exist embedded in common spatial agglomerated industrial and business activities. So this is a special context for cities. At City of Porto, we believe that innovation is the engine of the sustainable growth for the city and region, and a key enabler for helping individuals with ideas and the right abilities to create entrepreneurial ventures. Having access to knowledge-based innovation provided by the universities and R&D institutions, and access to seed capital and the reduced bureaucracy to start new businesses, create the right conditions to develop a flourish entrepreneurship ecosystem. Recent studies point to the fact that younger businesses are consistently more likely to exhibit higher growth than older ones. But also, most of the startups fail in their first 10 years, and that most of those who survive stay small. The challenge then is identifying those young businesses that will survive and grow, and this relates how innovative a business is and how skilled their workforce is. In this context, and as mentioned above, the promotion of cities is based on their capacities to support and promote their human capital, namely through strong connections with the economic world. The capacity for innovation and creation of top science, combined with characteristics mentioned above, is fundamental ingredient to give rise to a set of innovative projects. To embrace the future, we must be able to recognize the relevance of a network, and I think Baybars talked about this, that enhances and completes the diversity of several partners, public, private, creating a distinctive ecosystem. Cities can have here a unique role facilitating companies' growth and creating a thriving innovation system. Porto is doing that by the Scale Up Porto program, an important commitment to consolidate the city's innovative ecosystem. And we are also working with several cities in Europe. It aims to become a catalyst for the creation of that ecosystem and a network of individuals and organizations that share the vision of a Scale Up program. Cities represented by city councils are the natural hub for the main stakeholders in the scale-up process. They could act as a true catalyst between the academia, reference industry representatives, human resource management agencies, and of course with other cities. They could also play a unique role as a living lab, creating unique opportunities for product validation. And that's exactly where Porto wants to be, a catalyst to foster economy and create more jobs. Thank you very much.